Andrade was born and raised in Gomez Palacio, Durango, Mexico. Born into a wrestling family, Andrade grew up playing with his father and uncles in a wrestling ring. This naturally led Andrade to train professionally. At the age of 13, Andrade had his first match. He wore a mask and paid tribute to his father by wrestling as Brillante Jr. After wrestling for his family's promotion for a few years, Andrade joined CMLL, the largest wrestling company in Mexico. There, Andrade would change his name to La Sombra, which means the Shadow. Before he was even 20 years old, Andrade had already won multiple championships and other accolades. As time went on, Andrade's fame began to grow, as well as his wrestling skills. He got so much attention that he and another luchador got into a fight with a fan in 2015. Thankfully though, nobody was seriously hurt. Later that same year, Andrade would report to the WWE Performance Center and signed a development contract with the company. The first signs of Andrade's WWE debut came when promo videos started playing on NXT. In them, Andrade would be seen taking off his La Sombra mask, but never revealing his face. At NXT TakeOver The End, Ty Dillinger came out after demanding a match on the show. Andrade took this opportunity to have his first match in WWE. Wrestling as Andrade Cien Almas, Andrade traded in his mask for a fancy white hat. Once he got inside the ropes, Andrade took off his pull-away pants as a young Angel Garza took note. Andrade and Ty Dillinger started the match with some grappling and mat wrestling. Andrade looked good, but the Perfect 10 was the better grappler. However, using his lucha reflexes, Andrade was able to move faster than Ty and landed the first hit of the match. Andrade followed up by sending Dillinger to the outside with a Hurricane Rana. With the match in his favor, the Mexican star began to show off a bit. The Canadian wrestler used Andrade's overconfidence to his advantage and took him out with a surprise tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. Ty Dillinger then set Andrade up on the top rope, but Andrade fought back and knocked Dillinger down and performed 2 moonsaults, with the second one successfully connecting. Unfortunately, Andrade went back to showing off, and he paid for it. The Perfect 10 attempted to end the match with a tiebreaker, but Andrade prevented it from happening. The former La Sombra hit his opponent with double knees to the spine and a wheelbarrow bulldog. This put Ty Dillinger in the corner, allowing Andrade to smash his face with a double running knee and covering him for the 3 count. The match overall felt alright. Andrade didn't go all out, but he didn't need to either. The only major issue I think was the crowd. They were definitely more behind Ty Dillinger than Andrade, which makes sense. The fans did cheer for Andrade, but it seemed to be more out of politeness. Besides that, Andrade performed well and put on a good match with Dillinger. Afterward, Andrade would gain a few more wins, but suffered his first defeat at the next TakeOver event. Nothing much happened until October, when Andrade entered into the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic with Cedric Alexander. They didn't make it far, losing in the first round, which caused Andrade to snap and attack Cedric. As a result, Andrade and Alexander faced off twice on NXT, with Andrade losing the first match, but getting the win in their second encounter. For the next several months, Andrade's career was pretty uneventful. The turning point, though, came in July 2017. After losing a match to Noe Jose, Cesar Bononi was attacked by Andrade. The luchador wasn't alone, though. He was accompanied by a woman who would later become known as Zelina Vega. She became Andrade's manager and helped accelerate the Mexican star's career. Andrade began picking up wins, and by November, he challenged and defeated Drew McIntyre to become the NXT champion. Andrade went on to hold the championship for 140 days, and even had a 5-star match with Johnny Gargano during his title reign. At NXT TakeOver New Orleans, the era of Andrade was put to rest when he lost to Zelina Vega's real-life husband, Aleister Black. 10 days after losing the NXT title, Andrade and Vega would be drafted to SmackDown. His first feud as a member of the main roster was against Sin Cara. They had back-to-back matches, and Andrade won both times. Following that brief rivalry, Andrade and Zelina Vega started butting heads with Rusev and Lana. The two sides met in a mixed tag team match at SummerSlam, where Andrade's team was victorious, although they did lose the rematch 2 days later. Sadly, that became a trend for Andrade, as the rest of 2018 saw the man losing a majority of his matches. In January of 2019, Andrade Cien Almas officially shortened his name to just Andrade. Besides that, Andrade wasn't part of any major storylines or rivalries. He competed at many pay-per-views in 2019 and fought for multiple championships, but failed to win any of them. Luckily, Andrade's story would change. In October, Andrade and Zelina were drafted to Raw. After spending a couple of months on the new brand, Andrade defeated Rey Mysterio at a non-televised WWE show to win his first championship on the main roster, the United States title. Andrade walked into 2020 in a good position, and he had 3 successful title defenses in January alone. However, things wouldn't stay so positive. The day after the 2020 Royal Rumble, Andrade violated WWE's wellness policy and was suspended for 30 days. By the time he came back, Zelina Vega had a new associate, Angel Garza. The two formed a tag team and were going to challenge the Raw Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits, at WrestleMania 36, but because of a leg injury, Andrade was pulled from the match, and Austin Theory took his place. As they say, the more the merrier, and once Andrade returned, he, Garza, and Theory formed a 3-man faction. The group didn't last long, though. About a month later, Austin Theory would accidentally cost Andrade and Angel Garza a match. Afterwards, the two attacked Theory and kicked him out of the faction. Things didn't get any better, as a week later, Andrade lost his United States Championship to Apollo Crews and wouldn't get it back. Andrade and Garza would continue to tag together and even challenge for the Raw Tag Team Championship, but were unsuccessful. This caused tension to rise in the group and ultimately caused Zelina Vega to walk away from both Andrade and Angel. Despite this, the two managed to win a #1 contenders match for the Raw Tag Team titles. They got their championship match at Night of Champions, but once again, couldn't win the gold. To make matters worse, Angel Garza was legitimately injured at the event, which caused the team to officially split. Once Garza was healed, the two finally got to go one-on-one, and this ended up being Andrade's last WWE match. To make this more complete, Zelina Vega watched the match ringside and provided commentary. The first thing that happened in the match was Angel Garza pulled off his pants, an indirect callback to Andrade's first match over 4 years ago. Andrade clearly had the strength advantage and proved that by getting out of a headlock by lifting Angel Garza up and throwing him down. Andrade kept Garza down by kicking his former tag team partner repeatedly. After a little while, Andrade began using some actual wrestling offense and put his opponent in a waistlock. Garza managed to get back to his feet and change things around by hitting a super kick. Before he could perform the wing clipper though, Andrade threw Angel Garza into the turnbuckles. Andrade then used an awkward back elbow to push Garza to the outside. Angel Garza used the new environment to take back control and then return to the ring. This time, Garza successfully executed the wing clipper, and that was enough to put Andrade away. After the match, Zelina Vega came in to check on Andrade. A possible reunion between them was cut short, as the lights went out and Alexa Bliss and The Fiend appeared. They hit dueling Sister Abigail's on Andrade and Vega, and disappeared when the lights went black again. This was actually a pretty good final match. The match itself was alright, it was only 2.5 minutes, but everything around it was good. Angel Garza was a fitting final opponent for Andrade because of their history. Zelina Vega at ringside made it even better, since he was sort of the person who helped Andrade's career really get going. This wasn't intended to be Andrade's last match, so it was a happy little accident that everything worked out as well as it did. It's kind of cool that Andrade did get attacked by The Fiend and wasn't ever seen again in WWE, almost like The Fiend forced him to leave. While I don't think anybody wanted Andrade to leave WWE, his last match was done pretty well, even if unintentionally. After being absent from TV for a few months, it was reported that Andrade had asked for his release from WWE. As what often happens in these scenarios, WWE eventually agreed, and on March 21st, 2021, the company announced Andrade's departure. As of right now, Andrade hasn't done much yet, but I'm sure he'll start wrestling again soon. Funny enough, not even a full month after his release, Andrade already started talking about how he'd like to become WWE champion someday. Do you want to see Andrade return and win the WWE title? Let us know in the comments. And then watch the last Bell to Bell video on Christian. Thuddy gets a shout out for being the first to comment on the previous Bell to Bell video. Thanks, E. Until next time, I'm Zach from Tap Out Corner, and that was Bell to Bell.